Today I'd like to begin what I hope will be an ongoing series of inquiries and examinations of the classical arguments in favor of a deity. The first one I would like to begin straight away with is perhaps the most intuitive of all of the arguments, and that's called the cosmological argument. And in layman's terms, it's more commonly referred to as the first cause argument, the argument from a first cause, and it seems very, very natural to start there, as this is the argument which puts forth the proposition that nothing comes from nothing, everything must start somewhere, there is no effect without a cause. And if it is so for all of the finite observations of all of the effects which we observe individually, if all of these require an external cause, then it seems intuitive and indeed necessary that there must be an ultimate cause for which is responsible collectively for the whole of all of the effects we observe. This point of view has been put forth very early point in philosophical history. Aristotle makes some extremely interesting remarks about it, and then dedicates huge sections of his metaphysics to these arguments, and they've been very, very popular in modern times as well. And it's usually, I think, most the average person, if they're going to attempt to prove God or an abstract deity rationally, they would probably start there. So I think we'll start here. And to me, when looking at this argument, it seems that there is a fundamental, elementary flaw which undercuts the entire premise. It's an incoherency in terminology, and it's a flaw which I don't believe is possible to overcome or be rectified. To illustrate this, I'd like to briefly quote from David Hume in his Dialogues on Natural Religion, which were published posthumously. And in this segment, the character Hume is speaking through the character Cleanthes, I believe it's pronounced, I'm not sure, to the theistic Demia, I believe. And Demia is a proponent of the first cause argument. And Cleanthes says to Demia, that in tracing an eternal succession of objects, it seems absurd to inquire for a general cause or first author. How can anything that exists from eternity have a cause, since that relation implies a priori in time and a beginning of existence? Now that's, that's significant. That's pretty damning commentary right there on the part of Hume. What he's ultimately saying and accusing Demia and the proponents of the first cause argument of is that they are using the language of causality while completely undercutting and indeed contradicting the entire notion of cause and effect and time as such. When he says, how can anything that exists from eternity have a cause, since that relation implies a priori in time and the beginning of existence? What he's questioning is that if you're going to argue from the standpoint that your creator, is omnipotent and omniscient, which usually that's a necessary prerequisite of the deity, and if they exist for all time, if they are eternal and exist, they must therefore create time, essentially, and they must be before time. But if they indeed exist before time, how exactly would one determine whether or not their creation was first or second or last? What I mean by this is there can be no before or after when there is no time. Time creates all conceptions of succession of events. The entire concept of causality becomes muddled and inexplicable and incoherent. You cannot point out and say, this caused this. This is the cause, and this is the effect. If time is completely out of the picture, if time is irrelevant, then causality becomes inexplicable. Therefore, a first cause can no longer be deemed first, because what came first is no longer discernible. And indeed, therefore, if that follows, then what caused what is equally indiscernible and inexplicable. What's an effect? What's a cause? We don't know, because we don't know what came first. And we don't know because time has become irrelevant. This being, which supposedly exists before time, if indeed it does exist, regardless of its ontological position, epistemologically is absurd. There is no means by which we can trace its existence to its origin, because the notion of origin is no longer applicable at all. Time has no place. And so any notion, any language of time, of succession of objects, it must be thrown out the window absolutely from the outset. And if you want to attempt to argue from a standpoint of a deity, whether or not that it still exists, there certainly is not a commentary on whether it actually exists or not, but rather that there is no possible way to determine what a first cause is if something exists for all eternity, and indeed before time, which that encapsulates. And therefore, the argument to prove that God's existence rationally must inherently fall on its face, and the very apparatus the theist attempts to utilize crumbles within his hand.